What is the difference between shifting into the bow stance and brush knee compared to the similar movement in parting the wild horse's mane? The body movements appear similar, but the arms trace almost opposite paths. The left arm rises, palm up, in parting the wild horse's mane, while staying low and palm down in brush knee. The right arm moves down and back in parting the wild horse's mane, while moving forward and straight in brush knee. The difference is the actions of the core.
Now let's discuss what's going on in brush knee. The first thing I want to explain is that brush knee is the first time in the form that we're going to be using our glutes in an active fashion to power the movement. So far, all of our movements have been powered by flexion of the hip. So as we did parting the wild horse's mane, all of these movements are powered by flexing the active hip. And the same thing for crane cools its wings. We are just flexing the active hip the entire time. Now for brush knee, this is the first time we get into pushing off the ground with the glute. So instead of lifting the leg up to transfer weight, we are pushing the leg down with the glutes. And that begins here, extending my left hip as I rotate. That is what creates this movement. And then I finish the motion by taking that glute extension and flexing the hip. And that's what brings me into empty stance and swings the right arm back. And then I step out onto the heel. That's still a hip flexion motion. And then now I'm going to do a push. So I'm extending with the glutes on the right side of my hip while I turn the upper body forward on the right, and I'm actually turning the lower abs backward on the right. That is what is creating the push. And we use the same core combination every time we're pushing in the Tai Chi forms. From the side view, from the step out, I'm going to be pushing off the ground with the glutes on the right. My belly button, reflecting the lower abs, is going to be turning back against that pushing hip. That's creating additional energy as I rotate towards the extending hip with the lower abs. And then the upper waist is going to turn away from the extending hip, and that combination is what creates the push. Once again, from this position here, that's a push. 3 elements of the core activating at the same time. And that is what we do with all Tai Chi movements. Upper waist, lower waist, and hip actions must be coordinated at all times. And this particular combination of coordination is called a push. Turning away from the extending hip with the upper waist, turning towards the extending hip with the lower waist.
Now we'll go through the movement in slow motion, beginning from the end of crane cools its wings. First, we turn the waist while beginning to extend the forward leg hip. The root is on the rear leg. The left arm drops, and the right arm rises and retracts, both moving to a position parallel to the ground. When they reach that position, flexing the forward leg hip allows the body to keep rotating, bringing the right arm back behind the body. After reaching full rotation, we step out on the heel in a shoulder-width stance in a similar fashion to the step out in parting the wild horse's mane. The left palm will drop and the right palm will circle to the ear. This should happen naturally if the core is moving correctly. After the heel is placed, push forward into the bow stance, right palm striking forward and the left palm brushing past the left knee. You may ask, what is the difference between shifting into the bow stance and brush knee compared to the similar movement in parting the wild horse's mane? The body movements appear similar, but the arms trace almost opposite paths. The left arm rises, palm up, in parting the wild horse's mane, while staying low and palm down in brush knee. The right arm moves down and back in parting the wild horse's mane, while moving forward and straight in brush knee. The difference is the actions of the core. which are not visible but are the fundamental basis of Tai Chi practice. Even though the body appears to move in a similar way, all three elements of the core move in opposite ways when comparing parting the wild horse's mane to brush knee. When shifting into a bow stance with the left leg forward and parting the wild horse's mane, the upper waist turns to the right, while in brush knee it turns to the left. The lower waist in parting the wild horse's mane turns to the left, rooting the left leg, while in brush knee it turns to the right, rooting the right leg. I will link my video on rooting in the description section. The final difference is in the hip actions. In parting the wild horse's mane, the movement is powered by the rear leg hip flexing or pulling forward. In brush knee, it is powered by the rear leg hip extending or pushing back. Explaining these differences is why I developed the Tai Chi code. It has helped my practice immensely, and I hope you will find the same benefits. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to click the like button and subscribe to the channel, and check out this next video.